UK ILR extension plan advances, 10 and 15-year settlement model under active review. Why this matters now? The United Kingdom government is moving closer to extending the qualifying period for indefinite leave to remain from 5 years to 10 or even 15 years for many migrants. The public consultation on these proposals closed on the 12th of February 2026, marking a critical stage in the decision-making process. Although no rule has yet been amended, the direction of policy development signals potential structural changes to long-term settlement pathways. For skilled workers, care workers, and families who planned around the 5U route, the implications are significant. Policy context: the proposed end-of-settlement model. The Home Office consultation introduced a redesigned settlement framework commonly referred to as the end-of-settlement model. Under this framework, settlement would shift from a predictable 5U milestone to an extended contribution-based model. The proposal suggests a default 10-year qualifying period for many work-based migration routes. In certain occupational categories, particularly roles below RQF Level 6, the qualifying period could extend to 15 years. These changes would be introduced through a formal statement of changes to the immigration rules, potentially as early as April 2026. Until that statement is formally published and implemented, the existing 5U route remains in force. Proposed changes to the settlement timeline. The central proposal is to increase the standard qualifying period for indefinite leave to remain from 5 years to 10 years. This shift would primarily affect skilled workers under standard salary thresholds and long-term work visa holders. Workers who entered lawfully, maintained continuous residence, and complied with visa conditions could face an extended pathway to permanent status. For certain lower RQF roles, including many care workers, the qualifying period may increase to 15 years. This represents a fundamental redesign of the settlement structure for a substantial portion of the migrant workforce. Proposed contribution and integration requirements. Settlement under the proposed model would no longer rely solely on residence duration. Applicants would be required to meet strengthened criteria based on 4 pillars. Character requirements would remain central, including the absence of serious criminal convictions. Economic contribution would require evidence of sustained participation in the labor market. Integration requirements would include passing the Life in the UK test and meeting a B2 English language standard. Length of lawful residence would align with the newly extended qualifying timelines. Together, these elements raise the threshold for permanent residence eligibility. Proposed 15-year route for certain occupations. One of the most debated proposals concerns extending the settlement timeline to 15 years for roles below RQF Level 6. This includes many care workers recruited during workforce shortages. Under the proposed structure, these workers could face a significantly longer path to permanent status. The policy indicates a differentiated approach based on occupation and earnings rather than a uniform settlement timeline. This potential change has drawn scrutiny from policymakers and advocacy groups. Potential faster routes for specific categories. The proposed framework does not apply uniformly across all visa categories. High-skilled and high-earning migrants may retain accelerated settlement options. Applicants under the Global Talent and Innovator Founder routes are expected to maintain shorter qualifying periods. Some higher earners within defined salary thresholds may continue to qualify within 3 to 5 years. Partners of British citizens and Hong Kong BNO visa holders are widely expected to retain the 5U pathway. The result is a tiered system where visa type and income influence settlement speed. Who may be affected if implemented? If adopted, the proposals would most directly affect skilled workers who have not yet reached 5 years of lawful residence. Care workers and individuals in lower RQF roles would face the longest potential extensions. Migrants currently in years 1 to 4 of their qualifying period could be impacted if retrospective application is confirmed. Families who relocated based on a 5U expectation may experience extended uncertainty. Dependents may also encounter stricter individual eligibility assessments under the new framework. Adult dependents may need to meet independent settlement criteria rather than qualifying automatically with the main applicant, who is not currently affected. Migrants who have already secured indefinite leave to remain would not be affected by the proposed extensions. British citizens and individuals who have naturalized would not see changes to their status. Applicants who qualify and submit under the current rules before any formal implementation may still be assessed under existing criteria. Visa categories specifically exempted in the final statement of changes would retain their current settlement timelines. Until formal amendments are enacted, the 5U route remains legally valid. Proposed retrospective application. A key area of concern is the possibility that new timelines could apply to migrants already in the UK who have not yet obtained ILR. The Home Office has indicated that individuals without settled status at the point of implementation may fall under the revised framework. This raises questions regarding policy stability and legitimate expectation for those who structured plans around existing rules. Several members of Parliament have formally expressed concern regarding retrospective application. The final position on this issue has not yet been confirmed. Clarifying the current legal position, there has been no immediate transition to a 10-year requirement. No migrant has been reclassified under extended settlement rules at this stage. The closure of consultation does not equate to automatic implementation. A formal statement of changes must be laid before Parliament before any amendment takes legal effect. Until that process occurs, all existing ILR eligibility criteria remain in operation. Speculation regarding immediate enforcement is not supported by the current legal framework. Practical preparation before potential implementation. Individuals approaching 5 years of lawful residence before April 2026 should consider preparing documentation promptly. The Life in the UK test should be completed where possible. English language certification should be reviewed to confirm compliance with current standards. Continuous residence records, employment history, and tax documentation should be organized in advance. Submitting an application before any new rules take effect may preserve eligibility under existing timelines. Monitoring official Home Office publications remains essential. Professional legal advice may be appropriate in complex cases. Next steps in the policy process. The government is currently reviewing consultation responses and conducting impact assessments. Internal policy discussions and legal evaluations are ongoing. If approved, a statement of changes could be introduced in April 2026. Implementation may follow later in the summer, subject to parliamentary procedure. Until formal amendments are published, no legal change has occurred. However, the policy trajectory suggests that extended timelines remain under active consideration. Final summary. The UK government is actively considering extending the standard settlement period from 5 years to 10 years, with some routes potentially reaching 15 years. No formal rule has changed yet, but the consultation has concluded and policy review is underway. Higher earners in certain visa categories may retain faster routes, while many work visa holders could face longer qualifying periods. The question of retrospective application remains unresolved. Migrants approaching eligibility should prepare documentation and monitor official announcements. Further clarity is expected in the coming months, with potential implementation later in 2026. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.